Watch Dr. Drew's new show at 9 on HLN. Weeknights on HLN.
2 years ago, Heidi Damon was the victim of brutal sexual assault by a 16-year-old thug. Last week, she confronted him in court. No longer Jane Doe, as she might have been referred to, but openly using her real name and showing her face to the world and her attacker to see. Watch this.
I will not address you by your birth name. See, you're already ashamed. You can't even look at me. I will not address you by your birth name, but what I feel you deserve to be called. Guilty, guilty, guilty.
Now, Heidi's attitude and strength struck a nerve with the public as she told this gentleman, who had changed her life forever, that she was not damaged, rather the opposite. Listen to this.
I am not a victim, I am the victor. The stronger and the winner. You picked the wrong woman on August 19th, 2009. I survived.
Interesting that he could not even look at her. This is evidently unusual that a victim steps up in that fashion. I'm surprised we don't see more of that.
It's incredibly unusual. It's incredibly brave. Rape is very stigmatized in our society, and these women carry so much unwarranted shame. And they carry it with them their entire lives. So many of them, almost half of them, also have post-traumatic stress disorder. And a key element there is to avoid the feelings, avoid anything that reminds them of that situation. What's going to remind them more than the person who perpetrated this?
So, in other words, if they would have to go into the courtroom, revivify the experience, they have all these overwhelming emotions they just don't want to handle. Robin Sachs, has that been your experience when you're prosecuting these kinds of cases?
Well, interestingly enough, the first question that always happens from a victim's mouth is, am I going to have to come to court and testify? And that is always a huge amount, causes a huge amount of fear for victims. But ultimately, when victims do come to court, they find that it's very cathartic and very empowering. It's not necessarily unusual for a victim to make a victim impact statement in a courtroom, as what happened here. But what was unusual was that she actually confronted the abuser himself. She didn't do it through the judge. She didn't do it to the court talking about the monetary and the physical and the financial burdens and all those burdens. She went right to the core, and that was what was unusual.
Robin, would you encourage a victim that you were, say, prosecuting on behalf of, would you encourage them to do something like this?
Oh, gosh, yes, absolutely. I mean, to be able to go to court and confront your abuser, you go from victim to survivor.